Hello and hi everyone. Today I want to tell you about the evolution of Malaysian cartoon animation. My name is Nur Salina Metirafa from CAD230. Cartoons are fundamentally known as entertainment for kids, but due to cultural values, technological development and education, our cliché perception has changed to that cartoons are actually a source of effective communication for all ages. Cartoons can be defined as an unrealistic style of sketching and or funny figures that can make people laugh. Aside from entertainment purpose, cartoons are also used to send message without a serious tone and telling something with sarcasm. In sequence, cartoons were produced in newspapers, magazines, blogs, television, and cinema, whereby this was in parallel with the development of technology. From hand-drawn art for Yusuf Centurion to digital animation for the film Upin dan Ipin, Malaysians should be proud of our local cartoons rather than those from other countries. For the topic outline, we have 4 sections, which are the first cartoon section in a Malaysian newspaper. Second is from newspaper to magazine. Next is from comics to 2D cartoon animation, and the last one is new era for 3D animation. First, I will discuss about the first cartoon section in a Malaysian newspaper. It started in 1957 when the first cartoon appeared in the Berita Harian newspaper. It was titled Tenaga dan Keringat di Rusia by Lo, followed by Keluarga Mat Jambul by Raja Hamzah and Selamat Zaman Baru by Peng. Other newspapers also have cartoon section with different titles and stories. The newspaper being Utusan Zaman, today known as Utusan, Berita Minggu and The Sun with a total of 43 publications. All of the themes were about daily life in Malaysia, unity, fantasy, horror, superheroes and politics. Gila Gila magazine was inspired by Mad magazine from the West, was published on 1st April 1978 and has since created many successful cartoonists with different drawing styles. For example, Nisha, Jaafar, Taib, Zainal Buan Hussein, Azman Yusof and Rajab Had. Among the earliest cartoonists during that time were Nan, Rosim, Zoe, Zuna, Regili and Nud, all of whom had gone international and usually prefer to use local theme in their artworks. On the other hand, the theme of unity was a favorite amongst most artists, especially Datuk Lat. Such can be seen in his comic entitled Scene of Malaysian Life, which was published in 1975. Besides conveying message through art, competition amongst cartoonists became greater, not only due to their desire to produce funny artwork, but also to keep up with new media and technological developments. Cartoonists then became more progressive and hence started to find different approaches and styles to attract cartoon lovers. This situation was the reason why local cartoonists started to get influenced by other countries. For example, Japan, which is famous for anime. The strategy was proven successful when the response from local cartoon fans were overwhelming and thus met the market demand. This also shows that Malaysians are open to accepting other cartoon styles that have artistic value to improve local cultures. As shown on the list of cartoonists and local newspapers not only accepted local cartoons, but also those from abroad. For example, Batman, Tarzan from Edgar Rice Burroughs and a cartoon series entitled Nancy by Ernie Busmiller. All of the artworks had been published in Berita Minggu 1972. On the other hand, inserting Western cartoons in local newspapers actually impaired our local cartoonists, as they were exposed to artwork that were different in terms of drawing style, theme and storyline. Next is from newspaper to magazines. The 1980s was the golden age of Malaysian cartoons magazines. Due to encouraging response by the audience, cartoon publication split from newspaper to magazine. Local magazine sales increased exponentially, especially Gila Gila, whereby the publisher had to reprint more copies after 90,000 had been sold in a week. Inspired by Mad magazine from the United States, Gila Gila applied the same formula of this magazine, which was adapting famous local movies characters into the storyline. In addition, Gila-Gila also maintained local community storylines, and this proved successful in winning the heart of cartoon fans. Referring to the Malay magazine directory for the 20th century, Hamidi observed that since their first appearance in the 1970s to the 1980s, cartoon magazine or comic had increased their number of publications from 50 to 25 copies. Studies also show that humor magazine Gila-Gila was ranked third after the magazines Wanita and Utusan Radio and TVs. About 99 local magazines and 31 foreign magazines were listed on the report, and this report indirectly showed that humorous magazines were relevant enough to be published for market purpose. According to RM Media Index source in 1990, Gila-Gila report that it had a dominant Malay reading market at 95% for those 50 to 24 years old. Therefore, since Gila-Gila magazine's first appearance on 1st April 1978, it had become a transcender and inspiration to other humor magazines like Batu Api, Geli Hati, Gelagat, and many more to be produced. Daily Malaysian life with scenarios involving different races was always the preferred theme, as it was a reflection of the local culture and lifestyle. Next is from comic to the cartoon animations. Beside the glorious time for the local cartoon magazine publication, the evolution of cartoon animation in 1980s was happy to celebrate the first Malaysian animation to ever be produced and aired on television in 1984. The animation in question was Hikayat Sang Kacil. Hassan Abdul Muttalib, together with Andana Muzajia, were the people behind this animation, which used animal characters to give more lesson via storytelling. Due to good feedback from the audience, more animation series were produced with new animal characters involved. The glorious legacy of local cartoon animation continued with the first Malaysian animated series, Usup Santorian, in 1995. Usup Santorian was acknowledged in the Malaysian Book of Record as the first local animation series on television, which was the earliest 2D animation using animated pro software. Usup Santorian was a character that was first developed in Gila-Gila before being transformed into a 2D animated character on a digital platform. This was done using a personal computer brand called Amiga in 1966. In 1986, Kam Ismail was the person responsible for developing this character with his graphic team. Their success in producing 49 episodes, all of which were published by Karisma Pictures Sendirian Berhad. In 1997, Kampung Boy by Datuk Lat was published as a joint effort by international production companies, namely Metin Entertainment from United States of America, Philippines Animation Studies, PASI from Manila, and finally the film was finished in Vietnam. Malaysia then cooperated with Astro to make sure that the comic version of Kampung Boy was successfully shifted into an animated version. During the past 4 years, 26 episodes had been produced, and Mat, Datuk Lat's character, was maintained as a Kampung Boy who lived in a village and city in his artwork. This series can be watched not only in Malaysia but also in Germany and Canada. Another television adaptation of a comic was Anak-Anak Sidik 1995 to 2005 by Raja Azmi, which was published under kumpulan pelukis JAS Sendirian Berhad. It is a biographical series about 5 siblings who were all badminton players who brought Malaysia to the world's eye when they success in winning the Thomas Cup in 1992. In 1999, this comic series was shown on RTM channel for 3 seasons, totaling at 39 episodes until 2003. In the same decade, Malaysia had its first animated film titled Silat Legenda by Hassan Abdul Muttalib, which was published by Peninsula Pictures Sendirian Berhad. It then went on to win the Jury Special Awards at the Malaysian Film Festival. And for the last one is New Era of 3D Animation and their achievements. Three-dimension 3D animation was a new technique that was better than 2D animation, as the animation produced come with more detail and better quality. Most of the animation produced in this era were done using various software such as 3D Study Max, Lightwave, and Maya. From 2000 till 2010, starting with Near Resolution and Skyline by Young Jump Animation, about 15 animations were produced, 9 of which were film, 4 were short film, and 6 were animated series. Besides, in 2000, other animations that were published were Badang by Jutakira, Menantu Diraja by Reka Pinta, and New Name Bombit Studio. Film Negara Malaysia, FINAS, keep producing short animated movies with moral value while still utilizing 2D techniques, such as Bangau of Bangau 2001, Telur Sebiji Riuh Sekampung 2003, Anak Rusanani 2004, and Pancaraba 2005. In 2007, another phenomenon happened in the Malaysian animation industry when Upin dan Ipin by Les Kopecue Productions Sdn Bhd received a positive response not only in Malaysia but other ASEAN countries such as Singapore, Brunei, and Indonesia. Besides Upin dan Ipin, other animation that were also produced in the same year were Bujang Lapuk by Quest Animation and Captain Hands by Makmur Megah Animation. In addition, Makmur Megah Animation went on to publish 2 more animations in 2008 and 2009. In conclusion, starting from the first cartoon New Spring in Malaysia, all the artists had shown their creativity with different styles of illustration. Unity was always a favorite theme for storytelling as it was a theme that was close to the heart of Malaysians. Theme can be an interesting topic to be discussed in further research. Since long time ago, Malaysians grew with locally touched cartoon animation which reflect our local identity and culture. If we're not